Good. Actually, give me this 1 second. Otherwise, I don't have a pink apple. All right. This time, I call to order the April 6, 2021 meeting of the Danville City Council. Madam Clerk, roll call to establish a quorum, please.
Mayor Ricky Williams Jr.
Present.
Alderman Robert Williams. Alderman Williams.
Present.
Aaron Troya.
Present.
Sherry Pickering.
Here.
Michael Kane.
Here.
Bob Iverson.
Here.
Rick Streebing.
Here.
Mike Poor.
Here.
Sharon McMahon.
Here.
Brenda Brown.
Present.
RJ Davis. Dan Duncan. Edie Ludwig.
Here.
James Bouchard.
Present.
Darren York.
Present.
12 present.
Thank you. We do have. Go ahead. Go ahead. Thank you. We do have 12 present. At this time, we will have the invocation led by Alderman Brown, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by myself.
Let us bow our head in reverence. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful day, sunshine, and Heavenly Father, we thank you for all those that are present at this meeting tonight, and those that can't be. We ask your blessings upon them. Heavenly Father, we ask you to bless this election that was held today. We ask you to continue to guide and lead us, God. Continue to give us wisdom and discernment as we pray. We ask you to we pray a blessing over this entire United States and this world, that more love would abide within us, and the hatred would be just stamped out, Lord. It's always every day on the news. It's sad, but let us continue as council in Danville to be leaders and great leaders in this great city, that we do what's right, and that maybe we can be the leaders of love in this world. We ask that you bless all those that are sick with COVID. We pray for the families that have lost loved ones through COVID. And we do pray that soon this will be over with. And we thank you for this blessing and all others. We ask in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen.
Please rise for the pledge. The flag is here. Hopefully you should be able to see it now that I've moved the chair and there's a white background. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, man, y'all, that was almost together. It only took us a year, but I think we've almost got it now. We do have the minutes. You have before you the minutes of the March 16th meeting. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved, McMahon. Second.
So moved by Alderman McMahon, seconded by Alderman Trolia. Any discussion or debate? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Troya,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Reading,
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davis, Duncan, Ludwig,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
12 yes.
12 yes, the motion carries. We also have the agenda for the evening. Is there a motion to approve it as presented?
So moved.
Second, Bouchard.
Been moved by Alderman Pickering and seconded by Alderman Bouchard. Any discussion or debate? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Pickering,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Reading,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davis, Duncan, Ludwig,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Troya,
Yes.
12 yes.
12 yes, the motion carries. I do not have any proclamations for you this evening, nor are there any board, committee, or personnel appointments. However, I am pleased to tell you that we do have 2 reports of this evening. First up, we have from the Danville Public Library, Jennifer Hess, the Executive Director. Good evening, Jennifer.
Good evening. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm using my brand new camera here for the first time. So could I possibly share my screen with everyone?
Sure. I know, do we have to give permission? Give us just one moment, Jennifer. I'm sorry. We've got to give you permission, okay?
Yeah,
All
no
right,
problem.
we're good to go. You're good to go.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, can you see my slideshow?
Nope.
No.
Not yet, no.
Nope.
Okay. Oh.
There we go.
There it comes.
There we go. All right. Now you can. Okay, great. Thank you so much for having me this week. This is National Library Week, and I'm very pleased to share with you the steps we took during COVID and some of our response, and then what we've been doing and what we plan to do in the upcoming year. So a lot to cover. I'm going to try to go through it quickly so I don't take up too much of your time. So as you know, I am Jennifer Hess. I am the Executive Director of Danville Public Library. I'm a Danville native. This is my daughter, Victoria. I'm very pleased to be your director for the library. I used the library when I was a little girl growing up here. So I'm very happy to be serving as the Executive Director.
Mrs. P, Alderman O'Kane, Alderman McMahon, Alderman Brown, Alderman Williams. She's an East Ender like us.
Oh, yes.
Hey.
I know that. Very familiar.
Yes. Born and raised on Kentucky.
That's right.
Sorry.
So, as you know, our COVID response began in March 2020, as everybody else's did. What we have implemented while we've been closed, and in accordance with the different phases, is curbside pickup, craft kits, subscription boxes, virtual programming, and behind the scenes, a very large weeding project. So our response timeline, when we first closed down, we had staff do development training from home and come in individually to do weeding. As soon as we were able to, we opened up for curbside delivery, and we moved our computer lab to the first floor, and we were socially distanced. Then we were able to open the building and have socially distanced programming. Then when we went back to tier 2, we suspended our programming, but we kept the building open. Then when we hit tier 3, we closed the building again, but we continued with curbside delivery and had our craft kits available. And now that we are back into phase 4 and pretty comfortable there, it appears we have opened up our meeting room to allow groups of 15 people or less. And we have started some socially distanced in-person programming again, and we are looking towards that bridge phase hopefully soon for a little bit more return to normal. So safety, we followed all the CDC guidelines. Masks are required at all times. We sanitize our workstations after use. We have our returned materials in quarantine, and we have received different recommendations from our consortium throughout this past year. At first they said 7 days, then they said 5, then they said 3, and now we're down to a 2-day quarantine. So you return your items, we stick them on a cart for 2 days, and then we check them in and shelve them. We observe social distance. We have sanitizer available for the public. We initially took away all of our seating. We've slowly been bringing that back and sanitizing it between usage. And of course, we frequently clean high-touch surfaces. So here is an example from December of some of our materials sitting in quarantine, waiting to be shelved. So something that we have implemented is our curbside pickup. This was something we talked about doing before we even heard of the pandemic. We knew that pickup services have been very popular. I make use of Walmart's weekly. So this was something that I was hoping that we could start, and the pandemic gave us the opportunity. So we did have these beautiful bags donated to us from the foundation and McLaughlin Asset Company. We're out, but we hope to get more soon. We've had 2,136 pickups since July, and we have had in March 5,746 items checked out or renewed. So we are still very busy, and that number is pretty much an average for a monthly. Sometimes it's a little bit lower. Another thing we've started are the craft kits. We have, on average, every month we give out over 400 craft kits to children, 100 to teens, and 100 or so to adults. For the kids, there's a new craft available each week. For the teens and the adults, it varies a little bit. But I actually just had a compliment on these this morning, which was wonderful. And they are totally free. We have them sitting out. You can just drive up to the curbside doors and pick them up. Subscription boxes were another idea that I had heard about through the library line about libraries that offer these subscription boxes that you check out a book and then you receive some trinkets that go along with the reading of the book. And this was an idea I wanted to start, and then we went ahead and went forward with the pandemic. This has been funded.
Ms. Director Hess, if you could please just hold on for just a moment. Everyone else, besides Director Hess, could you please mute your microphones during this time? Everyone else, could you please mute your microphones during this time?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
So we start, yeah, no problem. So we started out with teen subscription boxes, and they were so popular. We were getting calls for, hey, my tween would like a box, or I would like a box. So we started adult boxes. We're doing nonfiction and odd months and fiction and even months. This month is Where'd You Go, Bernadette? And I have some examples here of the teen subscription boxes that we've given out. So as you can see, all these items that go along that you get with the book, they go along with the theme of the book. And you have to sign up ahead of time, tell us why you would like to receive a subscription box, and then join us in a discussion later that month in the book to remain eligible for additional books. So we love this program. It's been really well received, and we hope to get another foundation grant next year so we can continue it. Everything you get to keep, and again, it's free for the public. So programming has been interesting. We've gone virtual with it. Book clubs are a murder mystery true crime book club, and the writers group is for aspiring creative writers. We were doing that before the pandemic and meeting in person. We just moved that online through Zoom, and our numbers have remained steady there. We have Money Smart Week coming back next week, which is an annual program. This year it's virtual. We've started free technology classes. So this month we have becoming a Google guru and learning how to get the most out of Google. We've started a music trivia night. We've had different themes. We've had 80s, 70s. This month it is disco. We also do an art challenge for children and teen every month. And we have a couple more one-off programs coming up. One is Kids Talk Culture. Sam talks about the Sudan. That is going to be on April 17th on Zoom. We are also currently conducting a survey to establish a Spanish language collection, and that survey is available in English and Spanish. So please contribute or share the word on that survey so we can start expanding out our collection into other languages. We Wigglers is one of the programs we are bringing back starting April 20th. And Project Next Generation was a grant we received from the state that will teach teens work skills. And our 4 areas of study are veterinary science, vinyl sign making, hospitality services, and we do have a culinary arts program as well, which because it involves actually cooking, we are holding off until we hit phase 5. So behind the scenes, as I mentioned before, we have been weeding. Our massive weeding project has been adult fiction and nonfiction. And our industry standard is to weed collections every 3 to 5 years or so, depending on what the subject material is. Computer books tend to be needed to be weeded a lot more frequently than, say, your biographies. We estimate that parts of our nonfiction collection adults hadn't been weeded for at least 10 years, in some cases a lot longer. Most of the books that we have weeded out are for condition. Some are for inaccurate material, areas of interest, and this number is a little older. It's a little bit higher now, but we've so far withdrawn around 13,000 to 15,000 books. Here's an example of a very well-loved copy of The Catcher in the Rye that we have weeded out because of condition. Obviously, a book like this, we're going to buy a new copy and add it back in, but there's some, like I said, that are just, the information's old or inaccurate that we have just weeded out. Normally when we weed, we turn our books over to the foundation for use in the used book sale, but because, again, of the pandemic, we haven't been able to do that. Our distributor, Baker and Taylor, started a program called Sustainable Shelves, where we send them a list of the books we're weeding out. They send us a list back and tell us how to separate them out. We send them back, all of the books back to Baker and Taylor, and then we receive a credit. Some books they try to resell, some books they just send to recycling. But the great thing is that we are still getting a credit back to Baker and Taylor, so we can continue to buy new books with the books that we have weeded out. Another big project that we have been working on is relocating some of our departments. Most of this is behind the scenes, not in the public view, but the public will notice some areas are looking different. The picture that you see here is our brand new reference desk there in the center. Over to the left is the old reference desk. We're going to be taking that out and moving the DVD collection upstairs. We've also played musical chairs with our public computers a couple times. Hopefully where they are now is where they're going to stay for a while. But a couple things we're going to do by reorganizing, we're going to open up a senior center on the first floor and have an additional meeting room we're calling the breakout room. Off of our first floor meeting rooms. So, and the reason we're doing this, some of it's safety, some of it's convenience. We want to make best use of our space in this building and open more of it up to the public as we can. Here's an example of another area that we have spruced up. This is a little room that was off the side of our stairwell, and we've put the counter there with outlets. And some of our more popular newspapers and magazines will be down here. We are hoping to open up the west side entrance as another public entrance, as a drop-off location. We've applied for a state grant, which I'll find out about this week if we're able to do that. But this is just a nice little cozy area to come in and sit with a laptop or a tablet or read the newspaper. So some new services that we are going to be starting very soon. I'm so excited about this memory lab. The memory lab is going to digitize all of your old negatives, your slides, your pictures, your Betamax tapes, your VHS. We have all different types of formats that can be digitized right here in the library. If you sent your materials out to be digitized, it'd be very expensive. We're going to do it for almost nothing. And this is another foundation grant that we applied for and received. So thank you to the foundation for being able to purchase all this old tech and be able to digitize it for not only our purposes, but also the public's. We have also added a self-checkout machine down at our counter space on the first floor, and we now have the ability to take credit and debit payments for printouts, for the photocopier. We don't charge fines, late fees anymore, but we do still charge for any lost or missing or damaged items, and we can now take credit and debit payment for that, which we weren't able to do before. Some things in the works. We have a couple more foundation grants out there. One is to have a bookmobile, so we can really get out into the outlying areas of the town and partner with schools, we hope, and bring back that very popular bookmobile and have Wi-Fi capabilities with it. We've also applied to turn our second floor conference room into a Zoom room where if you're an outside group and you want to hold your virtual meetings, you can do it here. We are also hoping to digitize our microfilm collection. And what that will do is not only make our lives a lot easier here when we're searching for obituaries, but it will also allow the public to search through our microfilm collection at home for free. So, like I said, lots going on. I would love to answer any questions you might have. And thank you for letting me join the meeting tonight.
Thank you, Director Hess. I have to tell you, I'm incredibly impressed with the good work that you and your staff are doing. I think you're being great stewards. I see Treasurer Wilson, you have a question?
Yes, it's so funny that you mentioned the bookmobile at the end, because I was going to ask you to bring the bookmobile back. I loved it as a kid, and I'm so excited that you're planning on bringing that back. That's fantastic.
Thank you so much. We've gotten a lot of very positive feedback for it. I personally don't have any memories of the bookmobile, but I've seen plenty of. I know. I think that
Too young.
or I could really have taken advantage of it, but I am excited to get it back. I've seen some really cool ones online. So
I have a question on the memory lab. This is something new,
Sure.
isn't it? Or at least I don't recall it ever being there.
yes, this is something I saw other libraries doing. We've got a couple libraries here in Illinois up north that have memory labs. And I just fell in love with the idea of it, because I know even in my personal collection, I have dance recitals from when I was little that are on VHS tapes. And as part of my master's program at the U of I took a digital archiving class. And unfortunately, your VHS tapes are going to start disintegrating if they haven't already. And if you want to keep those memories alive, the best way to save them is to go digital. So this was kind of a passion project for me. I'm thrilled that the foundation funded it.
When does this start? I don't remember hearing the date. You could have said it. Maybe I just didn't hear it.
So my IT manager is wrapping up, setting it up. He's putting together how-to guides, and then he's going to start training the staff. So probably this summer,
Okay,
if not
well,
sooner.
I won't take up time with a lot of questions now, so maybe one day I can just stop in and.
Absolutely.
And the curbside pickup was great. I had my great niece and nephew here back in January, so we would pick up. We did pick up once the week they were here, and they enjoyed it, and I thought it was wonderful. So thank you for that service. It worked for me.
Good. Chairman Boer.
Yeah, Jennifer, I remember back in the 60s, the bookmobile, and that was such a wonderful thing. It would go around to different schools. You'd go in and pick up books and things. And I don't know if there's a way we could help out as far as Danville Mass Transit, if we had an old bus, or if we had a way to get something like that, or if even going through the Danville School Foundation with Bob Richards and seeing if they might be willing to throw some money in.
That would be amazing.
Actually, Director Haas has some great news for you about that, I think.
Okay.
Well, we did receive a grant for a cargo van, which we will be using as part of outreach. but we are looking for an additional vehicle as well. So yes, I would love to talk with you more about that. We are in partnership with a gentleman from Urbana who converted an old prison bus into an RV, and he is willing to change a bus into a bookmobile for us.
Okay, and like I say again, talking to Bob Richard, he's the director, executive director of the Foundation for Disc 118, might be a good option.
Great, thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments for Director Hess?
I don't really have any questions. They've been answered, but I want to acknowledge it says a very impressive presentation that she gave tonight.
Yes, it was.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Hess, thank you so much for your time. Please send our thanks also to your team and to your board of directors. I know that that Chairman Bolton is very proud of the work that you all do, and so are we. So thank you again.
Thank you all very much. And please feel free to stop by and see me or email anytime. Absolutely.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Director, maybe once you have the updates and the changes made in the building, maybe we could have the alderman over for an open house to come and see everything. That might be good for us all to get over there and check out the new things and the changes you guys have done.
Absolutely, would love to.
Wonderful. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Jennifer.
Good night.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Also, we have another update this evening as well from Commissioner Steve Foster, one of our former aldermen, who is on the Vermilion Regional Airport Authority. He is going to give us a brief update on some of the things that have been happening out at the airport this evening. Mr. Foster, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and my friends at the council. It's kind of good to be back, just seeing you. I moved my camera back so you don't have to get such a big view of me. You know, I'm not pretty like the girls, but
Nice Tiffany lamp.
yeah. But what I thought I'd do is, because it's never been done before, is every quarter the mayor has always asked me, when I was previously a commissioner, and I was also chairman about 3 or 4 years ago of the airport commission, I would give a quarterly report just like the very fine one from the library. I thought that was very good. And if you recall, Vermilion Advantage comes in quarterly. So that way, as long as they're not all on the same night, I think we can put up with this 4 times a year. I hope you can be. I hope I let them hear the report. But I thought this time, the other ones will be even shorter. This is not going to be that long. But I want to give you a little bit of a history. In Illinois, in 1943, the state finally decided it would be good to support and encourage municipal airports. So they passed a bill in 1943, and basically the bill authorized 3 or 4 different kinds of airports. One can be city-owned, one can be county-owned, one can be city and county-owned, and they could sometimes there's kind of a class which they call municipal, but there's kind of vague. And then, but the fourth one, and it's the type we have here, are called airport commissions. Now, I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but you probably know, at least in the city, it's somewhat true on commissions. A commission has oversight of a city or county or both. In the case of our commission, the mayor appoints 3 members of the 5, the county appoints 2 members of the 5. And so we have an interest in what goes on at the airport because he appoints me and 2 others, and likewise with the county. But the thing is, their commissions are totally separate and different from committees. A commission, for the most part, can be overridden by their fostering, the county or the city, like we do on zoning. Same way on the Historic Preservation Commission. But commissions also that levy their own tax have certain special rules. So we found out in 1946, they changed the rules. We went by the 43 rules, as a lot of people did, but in 46, they said an alderman cannot even serve on the commission. No one ever has explained to anybody why not, because they had exceptions depending on last minute change in the bill. For an example, you can be on a school board and still serve, although they also levy taxes. And in some states, like some counties down in the south, you can even be on the water commission. So it sounds to me like just throw in whoever wants to stay on the air board in that mix. But right now, in reality, we finally found out that there were, of the 5 people on the air board, 3 of them were illegal because we were taxing. The Conservation District, Danville Area Community College, and the city of Danville all had to reappoint commissioners, and we all had to resign. So it wasn't them just picking on old Steve Foster, although it felt like it at times, because John Meyer, which is our current chairman of the airport board, was the first to resign because he was also chairman of the Conservation District. The second to resign was myself. I gave Mayor Eisenhower a resignation at the end of the year. Now, this is important to you because our investigation showed that they could charge me and any alderman only, you see, with a class 4 felony. So when I went to our insurance policies called OEM errors and omissions for both the airport and the city, and you need to know this, they would not cover any felony charges. So I was out on my own. That and the value of my home and God knows what else. I was a losing court. And so not being able to defend myself without a great expense, I just resigned and I sent the letter, I think, the next day to Mayor Eisenhower. And so I'm off. Okay. Now, that may or may not be changed. That doesn't matter. But I just want to tell you. So 3 of the 5 people were new appointees. And then when John Meyer finished his term with the county, then he was able to, and eligible to be appointed to the air board. And the county chairman, Mr. Bond, did reappoint him to the air board, as did the mayor's band will reappoint me because both of us were no longer felons. You know, I may look like one, but at least I'm not. And apparently they're not going to charge me for past crimes, whatever that is. But so when the airport's rules were changed in 46, the way that we collected taxes, and we might address it later, but the way we collected taxes to support the airport, which is its only income, and they need money to build hangars and do other things and to match federal grants for runways and parking areas and all these things that are involved in running an airport. We ended up taxing the townships that were next to or contingent with. So across Vermillion County are 11 of the 22 or 23 townships, and they run from the state line, which most of us are in, or Danville or some of the other townships, all the way out to the other border. But over the last 73 years, the 43 law was different from the 43 law, and in the last 73 years, farmers were eligible to apply for an exemption unless they were directly contingent, or if they formed an island where they were not taxed, you know, like a farm in the middle of people. That was anathema. So as it turned out, over the last 73 years, the total tax to the airport in our 11 townships is only 31% of the people. So 79% are not paying the taxes. So we're asking the court to revisit that, because if they did, for an example, my house, the appraised value is say 150,000. I think the assessed value is 50,000. You know how that works. So my tax for the whole year is only $13. It's not like it's crippling, you know. So if my tax was, if my house was $1 million, it would be 130. So it's not that bad. But not only that, we would lower the individual tax per persons if we add the proper people back on, because then our tax rate is at the maximum, and we could lower it from the maximum if we got kind of income needed for airport improvements and particularly industrial development. No. So last month, the mayor, Mr. Bond, came out and we discussed this problem, and we also discussed economic development. I'm chairman of economic development again for the airport, and the mayor, they're on board for economic development, both the county and the city. So we have great plans for the airport. Some we can do with what we have, and some will require an investment in the airport outside of meeting current expenses. The airport's been very well managed as far as we never incurred any debt. And the only bonds we ever issued along paid off for some of the things to match funds. So having said that, now, currently, the airport was open for business in 1948 by the time we got it built. And Pop Bowman Avenue was very active in getting that airport up. It's publicly owned now. It's called a public use. It's a general aviation airport in Vermilion County. It's 4 miles northeast of the city of Danville. And if none of you have been out there lately, you should come out and look. That things are really improving. We just inherited the tower from the Feds, so we've painted it, and we're going to have that. And it currently has a museum tour for the children. They can come out and go up the top of the tower. We're putting all the original equipment back into the radio. The terminal itself, which was Brit Airways, first it was Allegheny, then it was Brit that operated for Allegheny. When Brit Airways was here in the 50s, they had a very successful operation. We flew O'Hare, Midway, Indianapolis, and everything. And so when I came to Danville as the manager of the fixed base operations, we call FBOs, which turned out to be Foster Aviation when I had to buy the company to keep my job. Basically, the FBO offered all kinds of services, air pilot equipment. We had a maintenance shop for aircraft. We had a flight school. We even had a 141 flight school. It's an advanced flight school. Foreign students could go to 141. And they also had charter services. And we flew originally to the Bahamas, up in Canada, but we got ourselves down to just the U.S. because liability insurance just went out of sight. At any rate, so we offer that services. Now that the airport has they have a little charter service, but it's people that are off base. But we do have 2 good businesses there. With crop dusting, which is of great interest to the farmer. He's full-time year-round. He has a big hangar on the north end. And also we have 2 part-time crop dusters. Also, when I was chairman, we voted for and decided to install 24/7 fuel pumps, aviation fuel for jet and 100 low-end. And now they can go into the airport 24/7. They can fuel up their airplanes, particularly helicopters. So a lot of people don't know. We have a great deal of organ pickup and organ transplants because of the ages of our people in the county of both ends. So it's virtually keeps us busy out there at night. And the pilots like it. The pilots have a lounge that they're staying overnight. They can rest there. They can sleep there. There's television in there. It has access to the runway. There's a code to get in, but every pilot in the world knows it. They don't know it. They're not a pilot. And then also there is a weather service in there. 2 computers to get online and get the current weather. So it's really well established. But about this, Bill Britt and his family is going to be honored late this year. We have remodeled the old terminal and we set it back to what it looked like in the 1950s. It's really going to be a nice destination. And as it is now, we've been using it for wedding receptions. It used to be called Cloud 9. Now we just named it the Brilliant Airport, But anyway, we're going to honor Bill Britt and his family coming up later this year. They're going to tour what we've done. So you can now go out there and rent if you're a club or an organization or family, you can go out and rent it. So the services are very good. Currently, the airport has over 2 miles of paved surfaces with 2 runways, one of which is over 6,000 foot long. That was brought up to that length about 5 years ago. The taxiways and roadways all have lighting and they have great nav systems here in Danville, navigational systems. The full service FBO provides Jet A and 100 low lead, as I told you. And also, we have at the airport, we have the Mike Manavoncourt's internationally recognized aircraft restoration shop. He's in 2 hangars there. It's a business where once he has won the best of show, like at Oshkosh, which is the big thing. He's also the winner of 12 Golden Wrench Awards, which are awarded internationally to people doing aircraft, particularly restoration. Right now, for the mayor and Bond, they took a tour of his operation. They got to see one of the only 109 Messerschmitt left in the world. We're restoring it completely. So it's really something to look at and touch. Yes, it was a German aircraft, but let's face it, it's part of the history, our history. So there's a lot of good things going on all the time at the airport. They just formed a flight club. They bought an airplane. Members can fly the airplane they're going to buy. We have volunteer people they're not volunteer, but people that are, I'm a licensed flight instructor, instrument instructor, multi-engine mostly, but I would not go back instructing, but there are several people in the community that would be instructors. So I'm very interested in developing that, and that's being put together by Dr. Feasting. He's on that committee. He's done a fine job serving on airport as one of the mayor's appointees. The banquet call, as I said, is going to be open now to the public. You can take up to 125 people. This is the only commercial. Also, in my presentation, this year we'll be hosting Balloon Classic again. the date is, you might want to write it down, July 9th and 10th this year, July 9 and 10. You'll be able to see the control towers restored. You might be able to take a tour of the hangar, not sure, but he offers tours. We do to the children. We're going to build a new cold storage this summer down the south end of the airport for our equipment. This will free up the last rentable hangar. It's a large one. We'd like to rent it. And if we build new hangars out there and do those kind of things, we can attract business. Like UPS, for an example, flies in every night now. We have freight in and out of Danville 24/7. It seems like they come in every morning and they go out every morning, and vice versa. And they're based there. Their twin engine airplane is based there. They also are always looking for airport runway extension where they can build their own repair stations regionally. And if we extend our runway another 1,500, 1,800 feet, which we have room, and we can do that with the federal grant, then we get people like UPS. But right now we have a lot of low-hanging fruit out there, and we're going to try and develop it. So that's why we need to get this income thing settled so we know what kind of budget we're going to have to work on, that we might really go back up there and really take a look at economic development, because where we are right now at the airport is the only acreage, it's 175.7 acres, that has city plumbing and sewage lines and all that is going out there. It has all the electric and everything. And our new director of economic development, Jim, came out. He got the tour with the mayor and the rest of it. We showed him what we have going on here and the amount of land we have. We actually have over 800 some odd acres, of which more than 400 are, some of it are tillable right now, but could be converted industrial use. The main thing, Houston, the main thing I'm trying to make, and I may be going fast, but there'll be questions if you want, is I'm trying to show that the only place we can expand, because I don't think we have more than 30 acres anywhere else in town that has service to it right now in East Gate or South Gate. The only place we can really understand it's going to be in the great northeast, up there, the whole part of the county and the city. And we can expand up there, and we can start at the airport, because we have 187 acres right now available. It's on their website, or will be put back up. They're rewriting their website. So the locations are also in an enterprise zone. Scott Eisenhower and Vicki worked hard to get the state to prove that. And so that attracts businesses on the airport. They are a state enterprise zone. They get some property tax abatement as well as other tax credits and exemptions to businesses located within the enterprise zone. You know, they get discounts and everything. So those details are available to anyone that's listening right now, that's thinking about going to Danville. We're ready for you. Also,
very good. Mr. Foster, we thank you. We thank you for your report. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Foster this evening about the airport? He covered a lot of ground in a little bit of time.
I tried.
How's the book coming?
Well,
yes, Michael?
How's the book coming?
Oh, it's all right. It's a slow rider. I started on it when I was 8, but it's almost done, I guess. You know, but I don't shut up easily. Now, okay, I'll let you go, but I'll be back in a quarter and I'll give you an update. I want to say one thing real quick, Mayor, I forgot to mention. We did hire a new manager. Her name is Alex Gale, and a new office manager, Cheryl Tingle. They're both well qualified. She's a graduate. She has education, a degree in airport management and things, and she's experienced. So we stole her from Bill Gianetti's FBO over in that airport in Champaign. So having said that, you get out there, there's new faces. I'm the only old one. Ugly and old. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Foster. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Do you mind if I stay for a while and just watch?
Well, technically, because we haven't allowed that to the rest of the public, Mr.
Okay.
Foster, I'm not.
No, obviously. Good. I can go have dinner instead. Bye.
All right. Very good. Thank you. Items of information, we continue to make progress with vaccinations here in the city of Danville and Vermilion County. Unfortunately, we're not progressing as fast as one would hope. You know, we had a lot of folks express an interest in getting vaccinated. So they've offered us lots of resources, and yet our numbers most of our clinics aren't even close to full. So I want to just encourage everyone. We want to get back to life as normally as possible, as soon as possible. And the sooner more people get vaccinated, the better, the faster that will happen. So I just want to encourage everyone who hasn't been, if you're willing to get vaccinated, please do so. There are lots of options. The Vermilion County Health Department shares those both on their Facebook page as well as on their website on a daily basis. So please get vaccinated. Madam Clerk, do we have any petitions, communications, or audience comments?
Yes, Mayor, we have one from Christopher Hansen of Urbana, Illinois.
Before I read this to you, I would just like to share that over in Urbana, there are some individuals who have submitted thousands upon thousands of FOIAs and other record requests because of issues that they have had with various personnel there, including our own Mr. Simon. So when I read this to you, I want you to know that much of it I have looked into and is not factual. And I will try to point out a few of those things. I want the public to know that I do not agree with this assessment at all. This person has an axe to grind, and I very much support our corporation counsel. His references were wonderful, and this person just has a problem. So I'm afraid that he will become our problem, especially as he's listening to this. There are parts of this that are defamatory, meaning they are legally chargeable in nature, so I will not read those sections. However, Alderman, you will have the entire copy forwarded to you. Dear Danville City Council and Mayor, I am writing to express surprise that the City of Danville has recently decided to retain James Simon as its city attorney. As an Urbana resident, I have become very familiar with the integrity of Mr. Simon's legal work, as he has served as the Urbana City Attorney for several years. There are a number of defamatory and chargeable statements, which I am going to forego. Urbana has already lost one of the multiple FOIA lawsuits filed in the last year, and the judge scolded Simon for his deception in defending the lawsuit. More than a dozen instances of review performed by the Illinois AG and defended by Mr. Simon have resulted in determinations of violation against Urbana and/or determinations that the city has not properly provided records. Well, as an attorney, your job is to defend people. If I do something, it's Mr. Simon's job to defend me. Even if he doesn't agree with it, that's his job. So of course he would defend people, and maybe actions that people did take were or were not appropriate. Mr. Simon recently advised the Urbana mayor to commit numerous Open Meetings Act violations against the residents of Urbana. The violation caused a lawsuit to be filed against the city, and the Attorney General has just issued a letter to the city of Urbana indicating multiple violations of the OMA. The letter indicated the residents of Urbana are better off for Mr. Simons having resigned. I am certain the city council members are happy to see him leave. If the Danville City Council cares about your city acting in an honest and ethical manner that is respectful of the rights and interests of the people whom you serve, I would urge you to reconsider your decision in appointing Mr. Simon as your city attorney. Until then, your council should be constantly wary of any legal advice he dispenses. Upon reviewing some of your recent meetings, I have noticed that Danville City Council is still using voice votes for most of your votes. I wonder why Mr. Simon has not pointed out that all votes during your virtual meetings must be roll call votes. I suggest you ask him. Again, to me, right there, this guy obviously clearly doesn't know what he's talking about, because Mr. Simon has advised us that we have to use roll call vote, and as soon as he advised us of that, we started using roll call votes. Any of you are welcome to contact me for further information. Christopher Hansen, Urbana, Illinois. All I'll say is anyone can write a nasty letter. That doesn't mean that it's accurate or honest. This person, again, has filed thousands of FOIA requests in Urbana and has been a nuisance to the city staff there. I'm just praying that he doesn't become to us. I'm guessing probably because I've said he's a nuisance that we'll probably be hearing from him all the more. Mr. Simon, would you like to offer any commentary?
Not much. I appreciate the confidence that you and the city council share with me. Unfortunately, this particular individual, well, I can't say it's been thousands of FOIAs, but it is.
I meant to say hundreds, I'm sorry.
That's all right, but the fact is he has been probably, he and his followers have been probably the greatest producer of FOIAs to the city of Urbana. They have intentionally tried to bury staff at the city of Urbana with FOIA requests. And then when he doesn't like the responses he gets, he files complaints with the PAC seeking further action. There have been many PAC responses that I have addressed on behalf of the city, which has been my job when I was there, that have resulted in findings favorable to the city. As they say, you win some, you lose some. There have been actions that certain people in the city have taken that I've counseled against. But obviously clients are not required to follow their lawyer's advice. And that's okay. At least whatever they have done, they've done it with full knowledge and they've made their decisions. I'm very proud to be here with the city of Danville. I have enjoyed every minute. I'm here now a month and a half. I've enjoyed every minute. And I will tell the city council that your mayor and your staff are amazing. They are some of the finest people I have met in a very long time. There's some very fine people, I will say, at Urbana too, and all, but as the mayor indicated, you probably can expect, and unfortunately, our city clerk will bear a lot of the brunt, but Mr. Hanson apparently has nothing better to do than harass, abuse city staff and city council members. I would suggest, if you really want more background on this, you reach out to the mayor of Urbana and the longer serving city council members in Urbana, and I'm sure they can give you legion of stories about this individual and other individuals. It appears his goal is just disrupt and destroy city government, which is frankly, obviously a very sad goal in one's life. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Simon. Does anyone have any question or comment? Okay, seeing none, we do not have any zoning petitions this evening. However, we do have the payrolls from March 19th and 26th, as well as April 1st. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved by Alderman Pickering, seconded by Alderman Strebe. Any discussion or debate? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman O'Kane,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Strebe,
Yes.
Ford, McMahon,
Is it?
she said yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Brown,
Yes.
Davis, Duncan, Ludwig,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Troya,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
12 yes.
12 yes, the motion carries. At this time, we will receive our Public Works Committee report. Chairman Borsch. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess we have to.
Oh, you skipped something.
I apologize. Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'm sorry. I'm a little first flustered. You know, I can take honest criticism, as all of you can, but I cannot stand it when people lie or attempt to defame. It's one thing for people to attack me, but when you attack our team members and unjustly and unfairly and unrighteously, it really bothers me immensely. That's the polite way I can say it. And so I'm a little flustered right now, so I apologize. Also, Mr. and Mrs. Collins have been fun the last 2 days as well. So it's just been an interesting afternoon, y'all. Excuse me. Item 10 is the approval of vouchers payable. We have before you the vouchers of March 23rd and April 6th, also with special runs of March 29th and March 30th. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved.
I'm sorry, been moved by Alderman Strickland and seconded by Alderman Bouchard. Yes, Alderman O'Kane.
Are we to questions on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the March 23rd, page 6, about 2/3 of the way down, $11,952 for Danville Township Drainage Structure Farnsworth Group Engineering Service. What is this project?
I'm sorry, can you?
Did you hear what I said?
The Townway project.
Comptroller, are you able to, or Director Carpenter?
Now. Sorry, Sam's not here, so I can pull the documentation.
It's the Townway project.
It says Danville Townway. Street.
It's Townway Road, yes.
Okay,
It's the
Townway
engineering
Road,
services for Townway Road, yes.
like along the railroad tracks and stuff? Like,
No.
like near the railroad tracks and stuff?
No.
No, there's no railroad tracks on Townway. This is Townway between Liberty Lane and Poland Road. That's going to be rebuilt.
Okay. I understand now. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman O'Kane, any further questions?
None.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other questions from the floor? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Iverson,
Yes.
Alderman Streeting,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davis, Duncan, Ludwig,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Prolia,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
12 yes.
12 yes, the motion carries. And at this time, we will actually receive the Public Works Committee report. Chairman Ford.
Thank you, Mayor. We will be meeting on Tuesdays via Zoom at 6 p.m. And I don't know, Carl, do you have any information?
I don't have anything new at this time, no.
Okay, Mayor, that will conclude our report.
Thank you. Alderman O'Kane, did you have a question?
Oh, I just didn't take it down.
Oh, okay, all right. Thank you, sir. At this time, we will receive our Public Services Committee report. Chairman McMahon.
Well, good evening, everybody. Our first order of business is item A, to accept and place on file the treasurer's report for October 2020 and November 2020. So I'd like to place that on the floor.
I'll make a motion to accept.
So Chairman McMahon made the motion. It's been seconded by Alderman Streeting. Any discussion or debate? Alderman Trolia.
Yeah, why wasn't this done earlier? I mean, this is October and November. I thought this would be done in November and December.
She explained that.
Yeah, I had sent out an email prior to this explaining what why I was behind, that now I have a temporary person in the office because I was down with COVID. My husband had COVID. I was off for more than a month, actually, with those. And so it put me quite behind. So I have temporary helping me, and I fully expect next council meeting to have December's, January's, and February's to you. So.
Okay, that's fine, because we did get cited on this, I believe, in the audit about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and every year it would help if I had, an assistant, but it's just myself in the office. So every year it's kind of a struggle around this time to, keep up on everything. So, but I'm temporary, so we'll get it done.
Any further questions for Treasurer Wilson?
Anybody else have questions?
Roll call,
Okay.
please.
I think Alderman McMahon had a question.
Is that a roll call vote, Mayor?
Yes, ma'am. But we unfortunately, while we're in,
That's right. Everybody's a roll call vote. Yes, you're right.
Ma'am. As Mr. Simon advised us.
Thank you, Mr. Simon. Okay, roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Streeting,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davis, Duncan, Ludwig,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Troya,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
12 yes.
12 yes, the motion carries.
Thank you very much. Item B is an ordinance amending the wage administration chart for full-time mass transit dispatcher. I'd like to dispense with the reading and move for its approval.
Second.
And this is, Administrator Beef is having a little trouble finding part-time help. So she's hoping that with a full-time position, it'll be easier for her to fill. Does anybody have any questions for Mrs. Beef?
Chairman, I might just remind the alderman and the public that this is a grant-funded position, so this is not coming out of direct general funds or tax money.
Okay, thank you very much. Roll call vote.
Chairman Ford,
Yes.
Chairman McMahon,
Yes.
Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Davis, Duncan, Ludwig,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Troya,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Streeting,
Yes.
12 yes.
12 yes, the motion carries.
Thank you very much. Item C is an ordinance amending chapter 151 of the city code pertaining to building. Like to dispense with the reading and move for its approval and turn you over to, after a second, we can turn you over to Logan.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Streebing. Okay, Logan.
Okay, thank you, and good evening. And for those of you that weren't at the Public Services Committee meeting, I have our semi-new plumbing inspector and recently passed mechanical inspector, Tony Gedridis.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Tony.
And so
Tony.
basically what's being proposed to you tonight in this ordinance is a separation to commercial and residential plumbing permits. Residential is planned to stay the same, and what's proposed is to separate commercial and make the fee identical to the mechanical permit fee at 1.5% of the overall plumbing project cost. The reason for this is we believe that there's a large difference in Tony's time and the other inspectors' time on plan reviews and bigger commercial projects. They have to spend more time at the site, and charging per fixture in some instances just doesn't quite make sense. This is not to say that every permit is going to be an increase. This isn't an increase per se. We have a major example that I give you is an irrigation system is currently being installed in town, and it has over 600 sprinklers being installed. If you look at our ordinance here, it's $30 per sprinkler head. That'd be an $18,000 permit if we didn't make this commercial change to this fee. That's just a little example. So just basically separating commercial versus residential, keeping residential the same, and making the commercial building permit charged at 1.5%.
Okay, you need to get charged.
Manager Cronk, so in the example you gave, under the new scenario, it will be substantially lower. Their fee would be substantially lower, correct?
More than $10,000 less.
So one of the things we're hoping to accomplish here, everyone talks about Danville and being business friendly. So we're hoping that this will be one change that can make things a little more friendly for all of our businesses that are here, not only here in town, but any that we hope to recruit.
Does anybody have any more questions for Logan?
Chairman, it looks like Chairman Poor and Alderman Trolia have their hands up as well.
Okay. Chairman Poor?
Yeah, Logan and I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I agree 100% that a flat fee or the 1.5% fee is much better for business than having a per fixture fee, and especially a sprinkler system going in. We all know where it's going in at, but yeah, that fee would have been detrimental to their project. But keeping residential the same and changing the fee for commercial will be much better. That's all I have.
Chairman, I think Alderman Trolia has his hand up as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, when I first read it, I was against it because the last thing we need is more taxes on business because we have a ton of empty commercial buildings. But, after talking to them, I think this is a more equitable way of doing it, and I do agree with it at this point. So that's all I had. It's not really a raise, it's just more of a fairer way of doing it.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Chairman McMahon,
Yes.
Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Davis, Duncan, Ludwig,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Troya,
Yes.
Pickering,
Sorry, yes.
thank you.
Sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Streaming,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
12 yes.
12 yes, the motion carries.
Thank you very much. Next is item D is a resolution accepting a donation and appropriating the funds for Ambucks Playground for Everyone. I'd like to dispense with the reading and move for its approval.
Second.
Been moved by Chairman McMahon, seconded by Vice Chairman Brown.
Okay, does Carl want to address this or?
I actually could probably handle it for you or Director, either one.
It doesn't matter. If the council recalls, we did discuss this several months ago when we started to do the repair work to the playground up there. And this is just the funds that we told you that they were going to donate, and that this would come back up in a future meeting to be passed.
So essentially what's happening is they're donating the funds to upgrade, to refurbish all the railing, to install some new items as well, to replace panels at the park. It's the 20th anniversary this year. And so they're providing all the funds to make sure that it continues to be a nice playground for everyone. Our guys and gals in Public Works are also helping out with some of the labor on this as well.
Anybody have any questions?
Is the playground closed until July because of the renovation?
Yes, they're working on it almost daily. We just went last week and picked up the rails. Those were all taken down and taken to a powder coating facility to be refurbished as well.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have any questions?
We are talking about, I'm sorry,
No, go ahead, Mr. Pritchard.
we are talking about the playgrounds up on Winter at the soccer field.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been up there several times whenever we had our soccer teams are playing. And Carl, it's amazing what the outside people that doesn't live here say about that facility. They say it's the nicest one between Peoria and Indianapolis and Chicago. They just rave about how nice it is.
So Carl, will the one by the pool, that'll still be open though, right?
Yes, it will.
Okay. So, and this one should open, and is this going to be, are you anticipating early July or late July?
Yeah, it just depends on the weather and how it holds up in order to get everything completed.
Yeah, well, we'll hope for early July.
It may be before then.
And thanks for all your hard work too.
Director, we will still be able to open the spray ground at Winter Park on normal time, right? Or no?
No, because the only entrance to that is also the entrance to the playground. Yeah. We could tape it off, but then you still risk somebody getting in there and playing.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, it's setting you back.
So the good news is as you said though, Chairman McMahon, we will definitely have the one at Garfield open for the public, and as soon as we can get the other one open, we will.
So if we all just pray for good weather so they can work every day, we might get it a little earlier.
That's right.
Okay, anybody else? No? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Davis, Dungeon, Ludwig,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Williams,
He said yes.
Troya,
Yes.
Pickering,
She said yes, but I couldn't hear her.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Streaming,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
12 yes.
12 yes, the motion carries. Alderman Pickering, can you do a quick mic check for us so we can see if we can hear you again?
Mm-mm.
I hate the dog in the house.
Yeah.
Will you try muting yourself and unmuting yourself again?
Hear me now?
Yes.
There you are.
Just to verify, you did say yes, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, motion carries. Next is item E is a resolution approving the purchase of electrical service truck and authorizing budget amendment in the streets division. I'd like to dispense with the reading and move for its approval.
Second.
Thank you very much. This is a need that was brought up by Mr. Rui. We have 2 electricians and 1 truck. So that caused a little bit of problem when they were trying to work in 2 different locations. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Ruiz on, and he can further explain or answer any questions that you might have.
Yeah, thank you. So basically, we did hire a second electrician, and because of that, they've been using a spare truck to go their separate ways when they are able to. However, with all hiring back all the different auxiliaries for mowing and that type of stuff, those trucks are now unavailable, and that's the first thing. Also, wanting to just kind of increase productivity. It's always hard to make sure you're grabbing all the tools off the truck and when you need them and that type of thing. So running around town. Running around town for different items off the other truck. The other thing is with the aerial truck that we have, it's to replace it. It's $200,000 to $250,000 to replace the aerial truck they currently use. So trying to keep miles off that as much as they can as well. As far as why we're wanting to purchase it the way we're proposing, we got a Sourcewell quote, which is off the national contract, how we purchase a lot of our vehicles. We got a quote for that and started looking at trucks that are currently in stock at private dealerships, and found that there's quite a bit of cost savings that can be taken advantage of there. Our Sourcewell quote was $54,000 and $54,055. And that truck didn't have a plow package or anything like that on it. We have our eye on a truck, and as far as we know, it's still available for purchase. That truck was quoted at $54,000 and some change. That truck has everything that we need, plus it has a plow package already on it and salt capabilities. So that helps us as well with the fact that we had a few plow trucks that went down this year that won't be able to be resurrected for next year, that are just down and out. So that kind of, so through that, we kind of found out that adding those items onto our national contract quoted truck was going to be around $20,000 to do. So in the interest of saving $20,000, we decided that would probably be the best route to go. If we aren't able to get the truck that we have our eye on, there are a few others that are also a lot cheaper as well. So that's kind of the route we're looking to go. So.
Thank you, David. Do you anybody have any questions for Mr. Rui? Okay, thank you very much. Nobody's got their hand up. Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Davis, Duncan, Ludwig,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Williams,
Close enough to
Yes.
be able to do more.
Troya,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Streaming,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
12 yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you very much. If you guys don't mind, I'd like to take items F and G together. The first is a resolution authorizing a budget amendment in finance for the Asvar Hotel Motel tax contingency payment. And item G is a resolution authorizing a budget amendment in finance to accommodate the Asvar sales tax contingency payment. So I'd like to move for their approval.
I'll second.
And moved by Chairman McMahon, seconded by Alderman Streebing. Any discussion or debate? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Duncan, Ludwig,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Troya,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Streaming,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davis, 12 yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item H is a resolution approving the purchase of New World Fire Reporting Software and the necessary vehicle software.
Second.
I'd like to dispense with the reading and move for approval, please.
Second.
Thank you. This is obviously a much needed software that's going on right now. The fire reporting software is a little bit obsolete and unsupportable. And we have the opportunity to get this new software, which will integrate with all of the CAD software at the public safety building and make it a lot easier. So at this point, Chief McMasters, if you want to add anything. Anybody has any questions about it?
I had one.
This is software that's replacing our current software, which we purchased. We purchased and have had since 1999, and the software company has went out of business and been bought out. And so we have no choice but to replace it because it will no longer be supported and updated. And if it's not supported and updated, then we don't have up-to-date reports, which means that we don't qualify with the state and the feds for everything, which affects grants on top of everything else. This new programming is the same company. It's Tyler Software, which is what finance uses in the city hall, as well as what the CAD system at the public safety building is, so that it all integrates together. Everything that the software now will work just like it does for the police officers and their squad cars. Everything comes right into the trucks to us, and we see in real time is they're taking information from the caller. We're seeing it in real time in the trucks, as well as anything that we input into it goes directly back to the public safety building directly, and then gets inputted into the CAD system. This is used not only for our reporting of all of our alarms and calls, but it's also used for all of our inspections of businesses. And it will be potentially used later on down the road in future if we get to doing billing and or fines and fees for inspection violations, things like that. All of it would be incorporated in that. And for instance, like in inspections, anytime we do inspections now, we update all the contact information for the businesses on paper. We give that, we scan that when we get back. And of course, leaves a paper trail and everything else. We have to input it into our computer when we get back to the station, and we scan that information. We send it to the public safety building, and then somebody down at dispatch that inputs all that information into their CAD system. This on top of everything else would alleviate all that. Anytime as we were taking information from the business owner on either a call or an inspection right then and there, as we're inputting it and pressing send, it's going back to the public safety building directly, and then they automatically have that information that they use then for if the police go on an incident there later and they need a contact person, a name, a number, whatever. So all that integrates together. This includes, as she said, this is the software. It does have an annual maintenance fee involved in it, just the same as our software does now, which is taken up by the IT budget, by Agnell's budget, and IT will handle that. And then this includes all the hardware that goes with it for all the vehicles we own.
Does anybody have any questions? I know, Mr. Trollia, did you have a question for Chief?
Yeah, it seems like a worthwhile software. I just didn't know, did you get an RFP on it? Because it is $172,000, obviously.
There are only two different companies that deal with this type of software, and the second company was of a lesser dollar figure, but it doesn't have the integration like this one does. It would basically be the same. The second company that's involved is the company that's buying out the software that we have currently. It would basically leave us in the 90s. We would still be one way. We would still not have the connection back and forth with the CAD system and dispatch like this one does. And based on the information that we received from it, Agnell felt that we didn't need to do an RFP for it because this allowed us to do things that the other one would not.
Okay, just curious, how much was the other one?
We had that was part of the other problem we run into with that company. We had trouble getting direct answers from them because we changed our plans as to how many. There's like different modules that do different things, and we were in multiple conversations with them about different entities. We were upwards of about $50,000 or $60,000 for just the software and not the hardware. And this particular one, $52,000 of the price that you're looking at is hardware alone.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Poor?
Chief, the old software probably goes back to the days of Brian Murphy and different things when.
Yes.
So will this also be able to monitor firefighters when they're on location in fires?
This software does not. That's another thing that I forgot to say. The other thing that we do utilize the current software for that this one will do as well is our manning schedules, which is our daily manning, who's where, who's there at what times, who has vacation time, who's on sick time, which then we incorporate into that when we're doing our payroll. So this helps us, assists us on our end as far as handling payroll too. So this does not track. This is not a tracking individuals. However, and it's a minimal amount of money, but of the $52,000 worth of hardware, about $3,000 of that is coming from grant money that we just received the AirPack grant here a couple of months ago. And one of the things that we need to go with that AirPack grant is a laptop. And so one of the laptops that's going in one of the vehicles is going to be used, that grant money is going to be used to pay for it, because that, which is part of the AirPack grant, has the ability, when we are on a fire scene, we have programming and what you want to call like GPS devices and such within our new air packs, to where the commander on the scene can see everybody that's on air on the scene, exactly how much air they have and exactly where they're at.
Okay, that's great.
That's two different entities, but they're kind of coming together with the hardware.
Is there a module that will be available in the future, you think, for this program to tie in?
There is a ton of modules, and they priced us everything, and then we sat down and said, okay, this module is nothing we need, scratch that, to the effect of about $7,000 or $8,000 per module. So there's other things you can add later. For instance, if we get to where we are starting to send out bills, either for some kind of responses or fines for inspections or thing, that piece that you turn on for the billing amounts to like $500 or $600 a year or something like that fee that gets added to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chairman, you'll be really proud. Agnell and Chief negotiated the mess out of this contract and got them down tens of thousands of dollars. So I was impressed.
Yeah. Not only that, it looks like it's what they need. You know,
I apologize because I don't have those papers in front of me, because I went to one meeting at City Hall and moved paperwork from A to B and left them laying on my desk. But the software portion of it, we negotiated them down about $36,000 or $38,000, and the annual recurring maintenance fees started a little over $16,000, and we got it down to like $11,700.
Great job, thank you.
Excellent. Mr. Bouchard, did you have a question?
Yes, I know we're always concerned about the money issues, and that is a big concern, but this new program allows us to be compliant for future grants. Is that also right?
We will be compliant at this point, indefinite. Yes, correct.
Okay.
Unless this company shuts down just like the last company did, and then we're going to have to look at plan B again, obviously. But again, Tyler Technologies is who the public safety building's new CAD system is through, as well as what our finance department at City Hall uses. So I would hope to heck that they're not going anywhere soon.
But let's hope not. Okay, thank you, Chief.
Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Ludwig,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Troya,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Streeting,
Yes.
Core,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davis, Dungeon, 12 yes.
12 yes, the motion carries.
Motion carries. Item I is a resolution authorizing purchase of body-worn cameras and supporting equipment for our police department. This was very necessary. I know the chief had come to us because we didn't have enough for all the officers. So changing shifts, and one goes down, they have to come in and get another one. It was causing some problems for them. So Chief, you want to address this for us?
Chairman,
First, I need to move.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to dispense with the reading and move for its approval.
I'll second.
Thank you, Rick. Okay. Chief? Is Chief Yates
Yeah.
on?
Can you
Okay,
hear me?
there you are.
Arms. I got something to try just for the sake of trying it.
Nice wine bottles.
You good? Can you hear me, Mayor?
Yes,
I can hear you.
Okay. What this is that when we put it in for the grant, we got a partial grant, and we had to come up and figure out how we were going to pay for the rest of it. It was too early in the fiscal year for me to gamble in our expenditures. So what we did was we waited until we saw where we could pull money from within our own budget. I'm not asking for a budget amendment. We're just going to do a line item transfer, and the purchase is over the $20,000. It's $31,842. Essentially, this is going to purchase 40 body-worn camera units, along with 3 docking stations, and then 43 activation fees. Because each one of those, the stations as well as the cameras, do have a activation fee. But once once we have these all in place, we'll have 68 cameras. We have so that would be 1 for every officer plus 4 if we have any breakdowns. And this is a huge logistical benefit as well. There's no mix-up. Each camera is how these cameras work is whenever you come into the back to the station, you're not downloading anything from our car cameras onto a disk or anything like that. The way Agnell and Aaron and the rest of IT guys had set it up, along with people from Digital Ally, is where when you drive into the back lot, it automatically downloads from the vehicle. Okay. And then whenever the officers turn in their body-worn camera at night, they put it in or whenever they get off, they put it in a docking station. And it automatically downloads everything, goes into our mainframe, because we're going to be saving hundreds of thousands of dollars by owning our own storage. And we got that through other grants and monies over the last year and a half. So it's pretty much what you want to call tamper proof. There's huge, several levels of security on it. If I was to pull footage and just to view it, I can't change it. I don't even have the authority to do that or the permissions. All I can do is view it, and whenever I view it, it's logged. I viewed it. So it's a really good system, but it was costly, and we bought it in tiers because, like I said, I didn't want. We had to look at budgetary issues. Also, with these, every time an officer checks one out, how we have it now with the 28 units we have is that has to be logged, and then that officer has to go through and or his command officer has to marry it up to the download that officer had it. Now, we haven't had any errors yet, but it's another step that a human being has to do, so there's always room for error. We haven't seen those errors yet, but this would alleviate or eliminate any possibility of errors, because each officer will be assigned their personal body-worn camera, be issued one. And so it's already tapped, registered, and labeled with their ID, their badge number, and of course all the time date stamps. Any questions?
I just want to commend you for, number one, doing it in tiers like that. And number two, now that we have them for all of the officers, it just provides that extra layer of safety, not only for our officers, but for our citizens. So I just think this is a great thing, and you've done a good job and with your due diligence and in getting them and providing them for your department.
I think that if I was to go up to an officer and say, "Oh, I'll give you a $50 a week bonus if you don't wear your body worn camera," they'd tell me no. Okay, the officers really like the body worn cameras. Our command staff really like the body worn cameras. It gives a independent, third party, unbiased perspective of what's going on. And I've provided some of these videos to people outside the department to give them an idea of what different things that the officers are having to, different challenges, and it sort of clarifies some things. And hey, you know what? If it holds us accountable. Another really good thing about these cameras that a lot of people don't think about is that we can review these cameras after a critical incident, and along with our command staff, with the officers, they can go back in the luxury of safety inside the station and actually replay a scenario and say, "Hey, you did good on this. Everything turned out, but let's use it as a training mechanism, a training tool also." Even if it's just a casual encounter and how we talk to somebody. If we get a complaint on it, we can look at it and say, "Well, everything that you did was within policy and procedures. However, could we have eliminated maybe a perception of a different perception of what we meant by just merely changing the way we interact?" So it's a wonderful coaching tool for the command and the officers, younger officers, and even some of our veteran officers. So it's a win-win. It's a win for the community because it has a whole nother level of transparency. So,
Mr. Bouchard, you had your hand up. Did you have a question, or was
I'm sorry,
you to take it down?
I don't know how to take it down. I'm sorry.
Oh, you just click on the raise hand again, and it'll clear it off. There you go. Does anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I had one question, Alderman Williams. How are these cameras activated?
There's several different there's several different triggers that we set up on them. One of them is our lights on our car. Another one is they have an activation button on them. We try to have as much of it automated as possible, but there's sometimes that you may be away from your car because you got to keep in mind, we got to respect and abide by the overhear laws and third-party consent issues and stuff like that. So what we did was, all of a sudden, if you're in an emergency, you may not get to it within a couple seconds. But there's a feature on it to where it plays back 30 seconds prior to the button being pushed or activation. So if I hit my lights at one point in the roadway, well, it goes back 30 seconds. So it records everything. That's the same as our car cameras. So if I want to do a traffic stop on, say, Vermilion in winter, and I hit my lights at Vermilion in winter, it actually is going to show me 30 seconds prior to that. If I'm traveling north on Vermilion, it may catch me. I may be at Voorhees whenever the video starts, and I'm actually doing the traffic stop at winter. What's really nice about that is it also captures the probable cause, so we don't have to turn it on or hit our lights until we're ready to do so to catch the recording. So it's a pretty good features and smart technology if that's properly used. I'm not an IT guy.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Chief Yates? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Bouchard,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Proya,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Streeting,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davis, Duncan, Ludwig,
Yes.
12 yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item J is a resolution authorizing the purchase of police vehicles and disposing of unused police vehicles. Like to dispense with the reading and move for its approval, please.
Almost second.
Thank you, Rick. And we can have the chief address that.
Yeah, what we did was ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. We had one car that was totaled during the winter, and then we had 2 other cars that are just aging out. I think one's got like 180,000 miles on it, but it's still running pretty good. So we're going to keep that one. However, there's 3 cars that we need to get rid of. One's got a bad motor. It wouldn't be economically feasible to replace the motor at like $6,000, $7,000, however much that's going to cost, when we know that the transmission still has a lot of miles on it. Then 2 other cars were the Impalas. It's 2009 and a 2011, which are also high mile vehicles, and they were used only for tech services. And then someone had to go to the school, they could jump in that. But there's always that concern and risk that you may not make it there. But anyway, I brought it to committee under the request to spend no more than $80,000 on 3 cars. Now, these are used cars. They've got anywhere from 20 to 30,000 miles on them. The 3 vehicles that we've got are, they're all 2019s that we're ordering or that we're getting. And then the cars that we're trading in, normally we would get anywhere from $500 to $800 on the Chevys at that age. And then if we did auction, then we'd have auctioneer fees. And then on the Taurus, we probably would have gotten about, with no motor, maybe $1,500 to $1,800. For the 3 cars, I was able to get Watt police cars in Oklahoma, giving me $7,000 for those 3 vehicles. And we'll be spending $71,000. Hold on a second. $71,500 for those 3 vehicles, and one's fully equipped. The only thing we got to put is a camera, which we have, MDT, and radio, which we'll be swapping all those items out of a used car that was totaled. So normally each new car is about $54,000 upfitted, and we're averaging right at about $25,000 for each one of these. And they're 2019s. We just the 2020, unfortunately, they look great and everything, but there's some problems. First year model, it's typical, and most of the guys prefer the 2019s anyway. So we pay less, we get the same car, and it's practically new. Plus, when we buy them from Watt, now these cars normally have a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty on new cars. If I was to buy a 2021, 3 years, 36,000. Well, that's usually 36,000 miles is gone the first year. From Mr. Watt, we're getting them, and he gives us a 1-year, 12,000 mile warranty just through him. We've only had to use it once. We told him what was wrong. He said, get it fixed, send me the invoice, and he sent him a check. So he's been excellent to work with, and actually we're worked out a deal to get a couple extra radar detectors too. So.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody have any questions for the chief?
Chairman, I would just say this is another instance of our citizens, of our city team working very hard to save the taxpayer dollars money, while also making sure that we have the equipment and the things we need to do to serve the citizens well. So I'm really proud of both of our public safety chiefs and everyone in the city. They're really conscientious of how they spend taxpayer dollars.
Yes, they are. Thank you very much, Mayor.
If I could add, again, this is coming out of our budget that we already have. It's not an amendment. This is once we get to a safe place in the fiscal year, and we can look at projections. And this isn't me. I'd like to take claim the credit, but this is through our tech services manager and our finance within the police department. They manage it, and they tell me what we can do, and then we do it. So.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Alderman York,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Troya,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Streeting,
Yes.
Hoare,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davis, Duncan, Ludwig,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
12 yes.
Okay, motion carries. Items of information, we'll be meeting probably via Zoom on the 4th Tuesday of this month at 6 o'clock. And that concludes our report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thanks, Chairman.
Mayor,
Chairman Pork, go ahead.
yeah, and there was items 12B through E. Typically would have went through Public Works, due to time, timeliness and different things. Chairman McMahon and I agreed to let them go to Public Services last week, so that's why they were on the agenda for tonight.
Thank you both for that. Items of information, COVID-19 update. We kind of discussed that with the vaccinations. There are plenty of opportunities for those who want to, so please get vaccinated. I also would just like to remind everyone, just because you're vaccinated doesn't mean that we shouldn't take safety precautions. So please continue when you're in public, unless you're eating or drinking, continue to wear masks, social distance with people that you're not in your household as much as you're able, and also wash your hands. As Chairman McMahon always reminds us, you know, we've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. So let's be as safe as possible. Does anyone else have any comments or questions about the pandemic or vaccinations? Items of information for the good of the cause. I hope to have our community relations position finalized this week and out for advertisement. As soon as that's done, we will send it out to you so you can send along any qualified applicants that you might know. So are there any other items of information?
I have a couple, Mayor.
I'm sorry, Chairman McMahon, was that?
I do, but somebody else does also. I have two. One is that the Fire Academy from Urbana is bringing over quite a few students tomorrow to entertain a training burn at 916 Hazel Street. So they'll start about 8 a.m. So it could be pretty interesting, but the roads are going to be blocked off. So remember that. But if you have some time, it's always a good idea to go down and watch what our fire department does and what's involved in actually fighting a fire. Okay. Another thing I wanted to say was that over the weekend, we had an absolutely wonderful speed skating tournament. And there were like 200 speed skaters here from all over the United States, far away from Florida and Texas. And it went well. They loved our city. And they ate in our restaurants and shopped in our stores and bought gasoline at our gas stations. So hopefully they, left more than a few bucks here, but we entertained them well and they enjoyed being in Danville.
Very good. I also know that this weekend, the Illinois State AAU wrestling tournament will be held at the Palmer Arena. We'll have close to 400 wrestlers here and their families. They are implementing protocols, all recommended by the local health department to ensure safety. However, they'll be here from Friday through Sunday. So we're going to have another influx of a large crowd of folks coming to Danville. And then as a reminder, April 20th through the 24th, we will have the National Junior College Division II Men's Basketball Championship here at DAC. I still do not have any instruction as to how or if they will allow the public. I will try to reach out to them and get something soon. That way we can let you guys and the public know as well.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Mr. Simon.
Yes.
You had your hand up. Did you wish to make a comment?
No, I was given a thumbs up sign.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't. I'm getting older, y'all. My eyes saw a hands up, so I apologize.
You can borrow mine.
Chairman Core.
Yes, Mayor. I know about 6 months ago, the gaming board put on hold any new casino applications. Any update on that?
I wish that I did. As soon as I have any updates, I will make sure that I let you know first, and then I will immediately notify the media and the public. That's probably still the number one question that I get asked, but I almost never have anything new to tell, unfortunately.
Yeah, I get questions and I just tell them, I said, well, they said 6 months, that should be sometime in April, if they meet again.
Well, they said 6 months is May, so.
Oh, okay.
We're coming upon that time, so hopefully they'll start moving again. All right, any other items of information for the good of the cause? Seeing none, we do not have a need for closed session this evening, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Alderman, I apologize. Alderman Bashar, did you have an announcement?
No, sir, I'm sorry. I was just stretching. No.
Okay, very good. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn then.
I'll make the motion, we adjourn.
Second.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. I apologize. We do have to have a roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
I apologize. I don't know who I left off with. So I'm going to start with Alderman Williams.
Yes.
Toya.
Yes.
Pickering.
Yes.
O'Kane.
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Streebing.
Yes.
Poor.
Yes.
McMahon.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Davis, Dungeon, Ludwig.
Yes.
Bouchard.
Yes.
York.
Yes.
12 yes.
12 yes, the motion carries. We are adjourned. I would like you to know that it appears that the Election Commission has started putting some precinct results on their page. So precincts 25 and 26 have reported. I'm not sure which ward that's in, but I want to say to each of you that it has been my honor serving with you. And I wish you all the best in this evening's election. So have a wonderful day, everyone, and be safe.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good one. Stay
Good night.
safe.
Good luck.
I don't know.